Hey guys, what's up? I'm Boyka, and on this video I'm gonna be going over how to make your team or characters stronger than they are. First, I'm gonna start with my main team. My main team is this one right here. I have Razor as a main DPS, then I have Klee, I have Fischl, and finally this is my healer, which is Barbara. Here I'm gonna be going over weapons, artifacts and talents, and how to decide what to get for your character. So first I'm gonna start with the weapons. As you can see right here on my Razor, I have my prototype Aminos. And I have this one right here because this weapon over here is a really good weapon for when you're gonna keep your character out all the time. I keep my Razor out for the 95% of the time out, so that's why he's always on the field fighting, and the rest of the characters are basically like a support character or characters that I want to do some elemental damage with. So this right here, Aminos, is a very good weapon for Razor. The reason for that is if you're gonna keep your Razor out most of the time, this weapon is going to be really good for normal and charged attacks. And this one over here has a 50% chance of dealing an additional 360% damage with the refinement rank 3 I have over here, but depending on what kind of refinement rank you have, the damage is gonna differentiate. Now if I go over to my Fischl's weapon, this weapon is going to be really good for normal attacks, but as it says right here, it decreases the damage by 10% on the aimed shot attacks, which is basically the charge attack. The reason why I'm running this weapon right here on Fischl is because I'm using her out as a second main DPS character when I'm fighting bosses like Child and Boreas, because those are bosses that I don't want to go near at all. So I'm just taking out Oz, which is the bird, and then I'm basically attacking with Fischl's bow. That's why right here I have a bow that is gonna increase my normal attacks, and it also gives me as a base attack percentage. But if I go over to my healer, which is Barbara, you're gonna see that this weapon helps both her with her energy and the rest of the team, which is gonna, as it says right here, additional all party members will regenerate 4.5% HP every 2 seconds for this duration. And this is going to be a really good weapon for Barbara, and this is also a prototype, which means that you can craft it at the blacksmith. So if you're lucky enough to get it from the weekly bosses, this prototype right here, you can go to the blacksmith and craft it for your Barbara or for your healer, and this is gonna be a really good free to play weapon. And again, for the healers or for the supports, you should have a weapon that will both be good for the character itself and for the rest of the team. If I go over here to my artifacts on Razor, you are gonna see that I have only one set of artifacts, and that is the Gladiator. Because as you read right here, the 2 pieces of sets gives 18% attack, normal attack, and the 4-piece set, as it says right here, gives 35% attack damage on the normal attacks. And this only affects the characters that have sword or claymore, which is the heavy sword. So normal sword and heavy sword, this is gonna be a really good artifact for those characters that you have as a main DPS character. But if I go over here to my Barbara, which is the healer once more, you can see that I haven't focused on her artifacts a lot, but I have on her Maiden Beloved and the Exile. Why is that? Is because the healing effectiveness increases by 15%, and on the Exile you can see that I have 20% energy recharge, which is going to be really good for her ultimate, because you're going to be using her ultimate a lot, and her E is going to be affected by the healing effectiveness, and also from the ultimate, this Maiden Beloved is going to help a lot, but the Exile is going to be most effective for the ultimate. It's going to give you extra 20% recharge for the ultimate, which gives a really good heal if you're using Barbara. But again, if I go here to my Fischl, you're gonna see that once more I have the Gladiator's Finale, and I also have Bloodstained Chivalry, which are 2 really good artifacts for my Fischl right here. One of them gives 18% attack damage, and the other one gives physical damage. And the reason why I don't have 4 sets of Gladiator right here on Fischl is because she's a bow character. If she was a sword character, I would still have like a full set of Gladiator, but because she's not, I'm using the Bloodstained Chivalry as a second piece. And depending on what kind of character you're using, you're gonna focus on different kind of stuff. As you can see right here on my Klee, I have 2 pieces of sets of Gladiator's Finale and another 2 pieces of sets of Crimson Witch of Flames, which is gonna give me pyro damage bonus by 15%. And because Klee is a pyro character, this is going to be really good artifacts on her. And when I move on to the talents over here, you're gonna see that on my Razor, I have basically maxed out as much as I could on his talents. And I can go above level 6 because I don't have one of these Dvalin's Claws, but as soon as I get it, I'm going to make sure to max out his normal attacks. And why is that? Is because your main DPS character, he or she is going to be always using the normal attacks, and that's why you should always focus on the normal attack talents for the main DPS characters. But when we go over to Barbara over here, you're gonna see that I haven't focused on her talents a lot. They're all basically level 3, but here I get an extra plus 3 level, so that's why these are 6. But what I would focus on Barbara is her E and her ultimate, because those are the talents you're going to be using a lot. And the reason for that is Barbara is a healer, and her E and her ultimate is healing. And her basic attack is going to be used against characters or enemies that have Pyro Shield. And this is the only time you're going to be using her normal attacks. That's why you shouldn't go like up on levels on her normal attack a lot. Just go maybe up to like 4 or 5, but don't go above that. And on her E and ultimate, just go like all out, because those are the ones that you're gonna be using the most on Barbara. And when I go again to my official, you're gonna see that I have basically maxed out her basic attacks over here, and I can't go above that because my character has to be Ascension phase 6 for me to be able to do that. And that's why I have basically maxed out her basic attack, because as I said before, I'm using her against bosses that I don't want to go near at all. So that's why her basic attack is always like as maxed out as possible. That's why you should also focus on your normal attacks on the characters that you're using the basic attack the most. And back to my raise over here, as I said, I don't have the Dvalin's Claw, but as soon as I get the Dvalin's Claw, I'm gonna make sure to basically max out his normal attack. And I'm probably gonna also go on level 1 more up on the E, which is this one right here, Claw on Thunder, because I'm also using that one a lot. It has a pretty decent cooldown, but it's not like the longest, it's not like short at all either, but it's still a really good ability that you can use, and those are the talents I'm gonna be maxing out on Razor. On Barbara, once more, I'm gonna be maxing out the E and the R, and on Fischl, I'm gonna probably max out her Oz, which is this one right here, the bird. The reason for that is because the bird deals a really good damage on the spawn when you first take it out. It deals a really good damage, and afterwards it still keeps on the good damage. That's why I'm probably going to max out this one too, but I'm gonna be focusing on her normal attacks, which is the basic attacks as well. So once more, the weapon should be focused on the character that you're going to be using. If you're using a main DPS character, make sure that the weapon is good for your character, and that is gonna be good if your character is out 90% of the time. Artifacts, you should have something really good depending on your character. As you can see right here on my Razor, I have basically artifacts that are like giving the max potential on my normal attack or the basic attacks. But on Barbara's artifacts, it's gonna be also good for her and for the rest of the team, which is going to be the Maiden's Beloved, which is going to be healing the whole team. And finally, talents. Here basically make sure to max out the talent that you're using the most. Here on Razor is going to be the normal attack and the E. On Barbara it's going to be the E and the R. And on Fischl is going to be the basic attack and the E. So when you're leveling up the talents, just go over it, think about what kind of talents you're using the most and if they're good for your character, and be sure to max out that talent and don't focus a lot on the rest of the talents. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'm gonna make sure to answer every single one of them. If the video was helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for future content. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye bye, take care.